Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In 2016, the Pew Research Center estimated that 3.9 million, or 7.3%, of the kindergarten through 12th grade students in the United States were either here illegally or were the children of at least one parent illegally present in the United States. Can anyone on this panel tell me how much we as a nation spend on public education for that population of students? All right? It's around $60 billion. A significant and increasing percentage of this cost represents remedial English education required by the federal government for students designated as limited English proficiency, or LEP. In 2016, it was estimated that 9.6% of all students and 17% of kindergarten students were now designated LEP. Educating those students is expensive. By some estimations, we're spending $59 billion just on ESL and other programs to help children with English language deficiency. Can anyone on this panel tell me what percentage of teachers in the United States are certified or trained in ESL? All right, it's about 1%. How about what percentage of ESL programs are paid for by the federal government that requires them? Does anybody know that answer? It's just over 1%. Who pays for the rest? State and local school systems. So we require it, and we push 99% of the cost on state and local school systems. Look, that costs a lot of money for these state and local school systems. Many of them, like my state of Alabama, just don't have it. But because the federal government requires it, they have to put that money in there to the detriment of other programs. At least 13 states spend over $1 billion per year on limited English proficiency programs in public schools. Earlier this year, this committee found that there is a $46 billion public school infrastructure shortfall. Accounting for inflation, teacher salaries are down 1.6% since 2000. Classroom sizes are growing. Resources for students are shrinking. It's amazing we're here to talk about how the Trump administration's immigration policies are harming children. But we never talk about how illegal immigration is harming our students, teachers, and our communities. People who are here legally are being harmed by this. The federal government has mandated that we provide public education to the children of illegal immigrants, but we don't pay for it. States and local districts pay for it. How is that fair? How is that right that we make the requirement here at the federal government and we put up 1% of the cost? Look, I'm a former state school board member in Alabama. I sat across from teachers and superintendents and talked to them about this issue. Dollars that our schools have that are not unlimited. The states don't print money like we do here in Washington. They have requirements that they balance their budgets. And coming up with the money to fund these K-12 education programs around the country is extremely difficult. So I think if we're going to sit here and criticize the president for enforcing the law, we need also to think about the cost of not enforcing the law. That cost is not being borne by those of us in Washington. It's being borne by men and women in the states and local school systems around the United States of America. But really the cost is being borne by children who are being denied the programs that they should have. Children who are citizens of the United States, whose parents are citizens of the United States, they're being denied programs because we're forcing their state and local school systems to take on an expense that we should be taking on because we failed to enforce our own laws. With that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back.